Good morning and welcome to O'Neill's on the Run Life in a Bus. It is season 3, episode 9, and we're having a little bit of a wrap up of our down south travels on our trip from Bowen to Newcastle and spending the summer bouncing around the Newcastle area. And today we have a special guest with us. We have my mum, Grandma Julie, she's visiting us at the moment, so she's going to pop in and give us some thoughts. So, yeah.
Good morning.
You got to say hello.
Hello, good morning.
Don't do an Ali. Ali talks in hand signals, and then the people listening can't.
And no Thomas today. All girls podcast.
All girls podcast today. 3 generations of girls podcast today. Tommy's away at work, which seems to be a very good excuse for dodging the podcast.
Yeah.
That was his idea to do.
Yeah.
Which is probably 3 generations of different ideas.
3 very different generations of different ideas. So we'll start. When we said, actually, when did you know? What was the first conversation about bus that you remember? Did we talk about it before we bought it?
No, not maybe a week.
Yeah,
I think it was like posted on Facebook. You said, "Oh, we're looking for a bus," but that was
no, because I didn't post anything on Facebook until we actually bought the bus.
No, we were at
Cooler.
Binaway or Cooler, and I think you said, "Mum, we're going to have a look at a bus," and I'm like, "Oh yeah," and then you rang to say that I'll meet you in Cooler.
Oh, yeah.
At such and such a time, and we went, oh yeah, and in rocks the big blue bus.
Because we'd gone and looked at it the week before, and then we went and next week and picked it up. So I'd fallen off my horse, so I didn't have to compete. Yeah, because I'd been eliminated. So that was that. And when we bought it, what did you think? Like, what did you think we were going to do with it? What did you think the plans were going to be?
I thought, look, good on you. I worried about you never getting back into the housing market with the way,
still probably an issue.
with the way things are. Probably a bit of jealousy because we could have done this 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And didn't. But no, it's a bit like it's your life. You know what you're doing. But hopefully.
I guess straight off the bat, it was never our intention really to pack up everything and travel Australia right off the bat. So that probably happened a little bit quicker.
Like, I think the plan was we're always going to have Gannagano House, so you had at least a reliable source of rent income.
Yeah, and that we would go after you finish.
Yeah,
it kind of happened really quickly when it did happen.
What did you think when they said Ali for year 11 and 12 is going to go and do distance education on the road?
I actually thought that was great because I don't think traditional school is for everybody.
Yeah.
And
I didn't particularly like the school you were at.
Joint, that's
Yeah.
Now we're going to have a Mimi bark here because there's somebody walking past the bus. And I mean, it wouldn't be a podcast without some Mimi singing in the background either. So I mean, that seems to be stock standard. Every podcast, there's an argument and there's Mimi yelling at people and things.
I just thought whether you're in school, out of school, or what you were doing, I had the confidence that you would succeed.
That's cool.
But traditional school sucks as far as I'm concerned. I really do.
Yeah, it definitely isn't a cookie cutter for everyone. No. We are under the impression that traditional schooling is making good employees for the future. You wear the uniform, you do the job, you don't ask questions, and you don't think out the box.
Little robots.
Do what you're told, wear what you're told, show up when you're told, and get paid.
And go home when you're told.
And go home,
It's so much like I stepped away from traditional schooling, and you get rid of so much of just the bullshit. Like, there's no petty drama. Like, you're not stuck. And like, I found, like, you go out, there's a lot of immature. I feel very much above and beyond, and I've interacted with a lot of people who are not my age group, so I feel like it's just creating immature,
But the petty drama bullshit is in the workplace.
It's wherever you go.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's
and again, that's just school prepping you for real life. Like that, Tom like working his first like jobs like that outside of
Yeah.
farming has found like he said, I don't know how you put up with. And I'm like, mate, this is just work. This is like a workforce. This is what it's all like. Okay. So what changes have you noticed in us since we've been busing?
oh shit. Oh hell.
Say, oh shit, that's okay. Ali
Yeah.
just said bullshit. So.
Yes, you are so much closer as a family.
Yeah.
I don't say stress free,
No, we had a rant this morning,
but
so we're not stress free.
a hell of a lot more settled, happy.
Yeah, probably happy.
Yeah, just yeah. And look, there's drama and bullshit in every day wherever you are, but I think you're handling it a hell of a lot. Just everyday bullshit doesn't seem to tick you off like it could have.
Used to.
Yes.
Like it
And
used to.
Ali, you're so much better out of that school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feel like
And what the life experiences of seeing Australia.
Yeah, so Mum and Dad actually come with us in our next leg, our season 4 leg. So we're going to get their thoughts on that, our balls and bars tour. Dad is about, but Dad won't be on podcast. So he's hiding. He's hiding in his caravan.
I think you'd only get as much as you get from Thomas a bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure you get that.
Yeah. So, I don't know what else to ask you about us and bus life.
I don't know. Would you say if you went back 20 years, 30 years maybe, would you do it if you had the
option?
30 years.
Yes, but it never dawned on us 30 years ago to do that. It was more got married, had kids, got a job, that was it.
Yeah,
done.
And you worked until you retired, and then you had 10 years to enjoy yourself.
Yes. Yep. So it just wouldn't have entered our head to try anything like that.
But I think that's generational. My generation is going to push the envelope on that whole work-life balance thing, and Ali's probably even more so. Yeah. I think.
And then,
you travelled for a month a year on holidays.
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah.
And I already know the answer to that. I think we all know the answer already to it. But after doing the balls and bars trip, has it really shown you it's so much better just to do this lifestyle?
Yes, I could settle into this lifestyle well and truly. I would like a toilet and shower in my van, but apart from that, I could settle into this lifestyle.
So Mum and Dad travel in our little Jayco Countryman pop top, and they tow it with a
it's about 17-footer.
Yeah, little tacker.
It's tiny compared to the bus.
It's parked beside the bus. It's a little tacker anyway. Yeah. So I think that's about that.
Yeah.
So to fill out the rest of this episode, I guess we'll just do a bit of a wrap up on season 3-9. And Ali and I and Tom actually did try to record all this once, and we lost it all. It didn't save. So
yeah. And if you watch next week when the 3.10 comes out, there's a little bit of a blunder. I'm like, isn't this 3.9?
Yeah, because we sat down. We had a couple of rainy weeks, and we sat down. And we recorded quite a few episodes where we had everything out, and then season 3.9 just didn't save, went missing somewhere. So now you get to us to do it again, and Mum can join in if anything pops up.
Yeah.
So the first thing was, and we were just sort of answering questions that we'd had through the season. So fitness on the road.
Yep.
Ali can give us a rundown on her fitness.
So it's just a bit here and there. Most of it's just wherever I can pick up martial arts. I've also started doing Pilates. So when we were in Gloucester, I did reformer Pilates, but generally it's just PCYCs. And while we're at Bowen, I was doing Taekwondo. So it's just, and most of the time you do one lesson, and it's just when we were out west, it's just one lesson of Taekwondo just to turn up for free. So
yeah. So, and Tom finds the CrossFit community very well. I wish he was here to redo this episode because there was 2 CrossFit gyms that he wanted to give a plug to, and I think it's RIP Training at Cessnock
Yeah.
He really loves those guys there, and they looked after him travelling and sort of coming every couple of weeks over the summer. And there was one at Yamba, maybe, I don't know, Clarence River or Clarence Valley CrossFit or something at Yamba that I know he wanted to give a shout out because those two were really, really good. And as far as me, I really don't exercise.
Yep. I also think Dad would like
It's something you inherited.
I think Dad would have also liked to give a shout out to Snake CrossFit from Tamworth, as always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he still calls in there and he still sees his crew when we go back to Tamworth. He catches up with everyone. But as far as generally fitness on the road, we just live an outdoor lifestyle. So we walk a lot, we go fishing, we paddleboard, we go swim. So we just try to be generally active, I guess.
Yeah, and I think it's just a bit, especially with me, it's just if you can do it, like we have a yoga mat, and like if you get your phone with like any guided stuff, like Mum does yoga and Pilates, I sometimes just do core workouts, but I think a lot of it is you can't be fussy. Just go, oh, Pilates, I haven't done that before, let's just try that,
Yeah, Ali's trying to teach herself Aikido at the moment. So that's like the martial arts stick. So if you see the kid outside the bus swinging a broomstick around, it's quite a sight.
I've only hit myself 52 times in the first 2 days, so we're going well.
So, if you see that happening outside of a blue and white bus, it's Aikido, people. That's what she's learning off YouTube. So don't go near her with the broomstick. We have a rule like she's going to be so far from the bus and the car and me, or else and the stick's not allowed inside. Now, the other question we were looking is traveling with a dog. Do we find it restrictive? Yes.
A little bit. Like we did go to a national park yesterday and we couldn't stop. So.
Can't stop in a national park because of old Mimi in the back. She keeps us company.
Yeah.
She's got a good point.
She's protective. She keeps Tom busy. Makes you get out of bed to take her for a walk in the morning. So. But yeah, so we do get a lot of questions about that. So yes, dogs are an inconvenience. Poorly trained dogs in caravan parks.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Are a bigger inconvenience.
Yeah. I would like to add to any of the entitled boomers. If your dog's off leash, I'm not talking about you. If your dog is off leash and it walks up to my dog and you have a spray at me because my dog and I'm trying to walk away while your crusty little white dog's coming after mine, I will slap the next person who does that to me. It's disrespectful, it's rude, and it's your fault, and it's dangerous for kids. It's dangerous for the dogs. Like, get your head out of your ass.
Woo! Bus life has really taken the stress out of you.
It's normally me that has the boomer rant, but Ali's having the Vicky Dipper rant today.
I've been walking the dog at the moment, and Jesus Christ.
I guess being country people, we always just thought people had more knowledge of dogs than we have come to realise that they do. Dogs are not babies. I'm actually going to make a video about this. Dogs are not babies, they are dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs work in pack hierarchy. You need to be the alpha.
And I think I'd like to also add to that, like, especially with a lot of younger kids, while we're at Hat Head, we had 2 kids come across a couple of days in a row and try and bait Mimi with the food, they'd offer it and take it away. So I think definitely you need to teach your kids to be safe around dogs, but also please make sure that your dogs are on leash, because it just takes one aggressive dog to get off leash and it's dangerous for everyone involved. So please.
But how come just boomers?
Well, boomers it's not just boomers,
but they are the ones who come in entitled. I'm happy if, say, like, oh, sorry, my dog just got off, and you come running after it, but it's just the boomers.
Which happened at Hathead. The lady's Jack Russell got off and was running around the site, but she was trying to catch it.
Yeah.
But that happens. That's accidents happen. But it's the entitled that my dog's good, I don't have to put it on a lead.
Yeah.
You can't make me put it on the lead. Like, I had a lady at Crescent Head recently letting her dog shit under our awning, and I told her not to several times, and management really didn't give 2 hoots. So I waited till I had my work shirt on and walked out there, and I said, excuse me, it's dogs on leash, and you need to clean up where your dog has just shit under my awning. And she said, and who are you to make me? And I pointed to my shirt and I said, actually, I'm staff here now.
Yeah.
And she went, I'm going to talk to management. I'm like, off you go.
Yeah.
But it's that whole attitude.
Yep, and like the guy that we had at Hat Head who had these 2 big dogs on the back of the ute that was shaking the whole ute. Like, if those dogs had gotten off, that would have mauled Mimi, Mum,
Mum.
and myself. Like, it's dangerous. And to sit there in the car completely ignoring us while we're yelling out, "Hey, mate."
Is your dog tied up? Because
Yeah.
it's sitting on the ute going absolutely ballistic at us, and we couldn't see whether it was secured or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I guess, like, it's a dog training thing. Like, it is rude for your dog to run over and get in another dog's face. That's rude dog behavior.
Yep.
Dogs raised in packs don't do that. You go and you call from 400 meters away, he's friendly. Well, my dog's going to chew him in half, because it'd be like if I just ran up to you as a stranger and licked you up the face and said, "Hey, mate, how are you? Nice to meet you. Want to play?" No, I'm going to get punched in the face. And that's exactly what your dog is doing to my dog.
Yeah.
So don't get shitty when my dog bites its head off. Like, it's just
Yeah.
bad dog behavior.
Yeah.
And it's the worst thing. So traveling with dogs is an inconvenience, not so much for my dog, for everyone else's poorly trained dogs.
Yeah.
They're ruining for everyone. They don't pick up after themselves. They let their dogs run loose, and soon we're not going to be able to take dogs anywhere because everyone's getting fed up with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's going to be the problem. I also just made a video about how we leave Mimi in her dog box on the ute. That was a little bit of an awareness video that we just made after an incident in Port Macquarie, where a lady was trying to free the Mimi off the back of the dog box. So Ali and I were at a restaurant having sushi. We were sitting out on the deck area. We could see the ute and we could see the dog. It was 20 degrees. It was breezy. She was in the shade. And
I'd like to add, she just had a bowl of water, she'd knocked it over, but she had water.
Yeah, so she was completely comfortable. The ute's her happy space. She's been raised in that ute. And as a farm dog, she's pretty used to being in a ute and in a dog box. It's pretty standard procedure for farm dogs.
I think the only time she ever complains is when you drive past traffic cones, or you hear in the back.
Yeah, or when we drive really slow past other dogs and she has to bark at them on the street. So what happened is this lady had spotted Mumbles in her dog box and thought that she needed rescuing.
Yeah, and it's a very ventilated dog box. Like,
you watch the video and you'll see it all on there. But she's very safe and happy in there, is my point. And then this lady thought she should rescue Mimi because she was, I don't know what. I don't really know why, but she was going to call the RSPCA on me. But in the meantime, she was trying to open the latch on the dog box, and thank God she's clearly not a farmer because she couldn't open a slam catch, and let out Mumbles, who was in the dog box, growling and barking and shaking the whole ute because a lady was touching the ute that she's there to protect.
And the lady had her hand, like, say this was the ute, like there.
Yeah, we can't see that on the podcast. We can see it on the outtakes, but we can't see that on the podcast. Yeah, the lady was touching the ute, and she was trying to open a catch with a blue heeler dog trying to eat her. So that's how little the dog education is. Now, had she managed to get that latch open, I'd probably be in court because Mumbles probably would have bit someone. I think she would have jumped back in a dog box.
I think, honestly, she would have just legged it to us.
Ran over to us. But I got over there, and then the lady sprayed me about not looking after my dog. And I'm like, mate, she's a working dog. They chase cattle all day in 40-degree heat, and they're fine. Like, it's 20 degrees, it's breezy, she's in the shade. She's fine. The only thing that's upsetting her is you touching her ute that she's protecting.
And
then she just ran it on and threatened to call the RSPCA and took photos and who knows what. But anyway.
And she was just laying there in the shade, right? And she only really got up to do, like, you know, the little bark where it's just like a warning, don't come near my stuff, but it wasn't in any ill intent. And then we also had some old people walk past. And then shoulder was on, like, the actual dog box.
He walked right past the very back of the ute.
And, like, the Mimi can't get her head at all through the bars, right? They're nicely spaced. She can't get her head through. And she kind of, like, surged forward a little bit.
And he shit his pants.
Karen, as she was walking away, was like, your dog nearly took off my husband's arm. And it's like...
But is there a need to walk that close to anybody's ute, car?
And the fact is she literally can't.
Yeah.
Unless you stick your hand in her crate, she can't get you. But you shouldn't be that close
No.
to people's
And
stuff.
it's not like we were overparked at all. We were fully in the parking spot. You should not have your shoulder on
But
someone
in
else's
saying
ute.
that, we were parked yesterday and there was a lady beside us getting in and out of a car, and because she didn't touch our vehicle, she didn't look at Mimi, she didn't try to pat her, Mimi just stayed sitting down in the shade, and the lady didn't even know she was there, like, because she was such a good girl. So it is like, just don't pat other people's dogs, don't touch other people's cars, like, it's not, don't try to save other people's dogs.
This has been a very dog owner spray.
Yeah, we're about a good old dog run. So let's move on to something else we get asked about. Tom's toolbox. I've got to make a video about Tom's toolbox because we get asked all the time about what we carry in case of emergency, and Tom, being Mr. Farmer, carries everything in the kitchen sink, I feel. But we have spare hoses and belts for the engine. We carry grease and a grease gun. We carry lots of WD-40 and inox spray, all the basics. I mean, he's a farmer, so there's always silver tape and zip ties.
I feel like the silver tape's more for Dad's fingers than any actual.
Because he's a farmer, he uses silver tape like a band-aid. That's a farmer thing. But he does do that a lot. And then we carry a full range of Makita tools and a full chest of sockets and spanners and pliers. We have a bag full of electrical stuff, so fuses, wires, joiners, that sort of stuff as well. And we have a bag of plumbing equipment that's got fittings for every type of hose that we run through the bus, and joiners and things for that as well.
Yeah.
So we, as prepared as we are, we still couldn't smash the breakdown that happened at Bingborough. But in saying that, we had all the tools to pull it all apart, bodge your piece up, and put it back together.
Yeah.
So I do think it's pretty important to carry at least the basic amount of tools.
Yeah.
You know, of course, we've got the jacks and everything to change tyres. We carry an air compressor. We carry the reciprocating saw, tech gun, drill, Dremel, hatchet, grinder, everything. You know, we use it all. We use it all the time. So I do think if you've got the space, you should travel with a pretty extensive toolkit, especially if you're going remote.
Yeah. And even if like half of those tools, if you're creative about it, have secondary uses, like the hatchet out cutting opals, you just hit the rocks with the
or we use it to split coconuts, or we use it to split firewood. And the reciprocating the saw is the same. We use it to cut firewood as well as whatever we might use it for to fix things.
Yeah. It's like the blower vac, the official vacuum. So
yeah, even though I do have a Dyson, I don't know. Well, it does. We do use it occasionally, but mostly I just blow out with the Makita blower vac, which is handy. Next one on the list of questions, and this is a question we get all the time: how do we find work on the road? Ali doesn't. She's a.
I've had 2 jobs, thank you.
In 18 months.
Well,
he's a student.
Yes.
He's a student. Wait, not long to go. We can't use that excuse
No.
anymore.
I'll just go to uni and then I'll be full-time student.
Broke one.
Chickpeas.
Broke one. Chickpeas, living on tins of chickpeas.
They're $1 a can.
Okay, so we find work through Airtasker a lot for little one-off jobs, but a lot of those have led to full-time or more permanent jobs. We use Gumtree, so we got our job at Bowen Holiday Park through Gumtree, and Tom is currently driving refrigerated trucks, which he found that, I'm pretty sure, on Gumtree. But instead of just applying through there, he finds the company name, he rings them direct, and not, look, when you go through a job through Seek or something like that, I feel like you just get lost in a pile of 1,000 resumes. So I always call the company direct and apply, and that's how Tom's ended up with his job that he's got currently now, which is a good one. We will take on any job that suits our lifestyle. We are not fussy. We will have a crack at anything. If you make it worth our time and it works for Bus Life, we'll give it a go, just to say that we've done it even. But we don't tolerate bullshit in workplaces anymore. What are you Jesus-ing about now?
Bullshit in workplaces.
Well, we don't tolerate that anymore.
No, like the bullshit that I've had in the workplace.
Yeah. Yeah, and you quit your last one. That's what you always
Yeah.
tell you. Know your value and don't be afraid to walk away. There's other jobs.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when we all three of us just walked away from a job recently because it was clearly going to be a personality clash and an issue.
And a lot of he said, she said
And
bullshit.
changing shifts at last minute. And we right from the get-go, it was a red flag situation. We done 12 hours between the three of us and said, this isn't going to work. Hit the bus key and off we go.
Yeah.
And then Tom had a job 2 days later anyway. So that, there's plenty of work out there. You've just got to be willing to roll up your sleeves and have a crack at something. And we're at the point now where we look for things that we've never done before. We want to do things that we've never done, fill the gaps on our resume, try new things. So we're sort of more adventurous with our what we're looking for in the workforce anymore. When we had a house, it was very much I need this and I need that and I want that and this salary and those hours. But we're not like that anymore. We just take whatever's rolling along. I guess we did have skills before we set off. Tom being a farmer and being a farming family, we're all fairly practical. And then I had office admin and sales skills. And I went and worked in a caravan park for 18 months or so and got sort of familiar with the software and things. And then I do social media and all other things, bits and pieces. So we had skills before we left. And we went and upskilled. We went and done our barista courses. We done our RSAs and RCGs. Safe handling of food. We just went and done all the courses and upskilled. Yeah. The other thing is, someone told me the other day, because I was having a rant about shitty drivers on Facebook. Doesn't sound like me to have a rant at all. But he said, maybe the Facebook payments aren't worth the angst. And I said, I'd love to live off my Facebook payments, but just putting it out there, guys, we make like a cup of coffee a week out of Facebook. So don't be thinking that we make videos to get paid, because that's not really the situation. We make videos to record our trip.
Yeah. I think it's more of a I think, as we've all experienced, it's really good when it's done good and when people interact around you. It's a really good experience. And also it's like very much like a digital
It's like a finger, but it's that finger.
And it's like a digital memory book, and like everyone's like, oh yeah, cool, we're interacting. Like it's something that I don't think a lot of people are aware of.
Yeah, and I guess like we've got to meet some people because we have a Facebook page.
Yeah.
Recently we bumped into 5 Bogans at Hat Head, and that was nice. Like I wouldn't know they exist without Facebook, and they wouldn't know I exist without Facebook. But it was nice to meet up with another Bus Life family and have a quick chat. And then shopping in Kempsey the other day, one of our followers pulled over because he recognised the bus, and we had a chat. So it is a nice way to connect with people as well, and people that we've never met. Like I have great chats about bus lifing and photographing and stuff with people I've never met just because of Facebook. I mean, there's plenty of dickheads on there too, but
you're a lot more tolerant of people now.
Yeah.
Like
I guess I have more patience because I'm not working in sales where I have, or even wedding photography, where you have to be so on. It kind of drains you. You don't have anything left over to give at the end of the day.
And I think a lot of, so obviously I think we've hit on a lot of the demographic of the boomers who think they're entitled to everything, which again is not addressing grandma or a lot of the people on the road. But I feel like when it's the right demographic with people who really don't think, oh yeah, I'm entitled to everything, it is such a wonderful experience to talk about, like, all of these people, like even on the boars and bars, like it's amazing just to talk to people about, what they're doing. Before you get the entitled dickhead, which obviously all generations, but overwhelmingly.
But I don't know if it's overwhelming. Well, I do think it is that generation, but I also think that it's largely because it's a large percentage of boomers on the road.
Yeah.
The nomads, the grey nomads.
Yeah.
And I had to laugh. I'm on a page called Not Grey Nomads, and I reckon 50% of the people on the page have grey hair, so that makes me giggle every time I log in and I see all the comments kicking off or something's kicking off and it's all the greys on the Not Grey Nomads page. I love that page, but man, some people on there are clearly in the wrong demographic. Although Ali did tell me I have to dye my hair because my greys are showing.
I
so
said I didn't say anything. I just said you have grey hair.
I have some. I'm not a grey nomad yet. I'm a greying nomad. I'm not there yet. It's still more black than it is white. But I think that about wraps us up for the week. Tune in next week is season 3, episode 10, last one for the.
Festival.
We're doing the best of bus life, or the best and worst of bus life. Tom is back for that one. I'm sure there's some giggles to come out. Actually, I know there's some giggles to come out of that one, and probably some hot controversials, most overrated place and things that we're gonna.
You'll have to put that on the Facebook. Just be like, hey, which guy?
We start the chat on that one because I know there's some controversy. And I mean, it's not like us to have controversy.
No.
We're always so PC.
And
We're always on topic.
Always, just knowing our genetics, it's definitely, very calm.
Yeah, calm and just,
boring.
Boring. As I always say, guys, thanks for listening, tuning in here where we are rarely on topic, but always real, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.